everybody. It's Champenstein here.
And Heather Hadfielden.
Hadfielden.
Just Hadfield. It's not Hadfielden. That's not my name.
And we're here to talk about comics. Talk comics to me.
We have so many comics to talk about today, guys. So, be prepared.
So many comics, we're actually splitting it into 2 days. This is only day one.
Yes.
And then day two will be on Friday because
we have
there's so many comics. I got like 24 comics.
I got 26 altogether.
So
we're going to do this. Okay, I'm just going to kick it off. This is Harleen. This is issue 3 of 3. I fucking loved this series. I'm not even going to try to put it lightly. I loved it. It was beautiful. I love the way that the story tied up. Pretty much Harleen Quinzel, sorry, she's still a doctor in this. She falls for all of Joker's tricks, thinks that she's special, and she bangs him. There's like a really hot scene. Oof. Just kidding.
it's real sexy.
But yeah. Well, she's like going on weird like psychiatrist dates with the Joker. Harvey Dent is working with a group of people to break all the criminals out of Arkham Asylum, and from there Harley kind of becomes Harley Quinn because the Joker is a piece of shit. But yeah, this 3 issues, as I told Champ, if this had been any longer, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it, but 3 was just the right amount. And that's that.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about that book, that like the first issue, I just felt like it repeated itself so many times. Like, did it stop that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that actually had a lot to do with like her not knowing who she was in the beginning, and this like becoming more like not necessarily comfortable with who she is at the core, but who she becomes.
Okay.
So it all like it flows really well like to get to that point, and that's why I really liked it. It's just from point A to point B, like you can see the drastic change in her and her personality from like before Joker and after Joker, which I thought was really cool. So yes. Next I have this beautiful little Grant Morrison and Dan Mora book called Klaus, The Life and Times of Joe Christmas. It goes through every day of December up until the 25th, different years of Joe Christmas's life, and how him and Klaus are like, buddy, and how they became friends, or not friends, but father and son, essentially. I don't know. There's no words. That's my favorite day. There's no words in this whatsoever, but it's still, like, the art is incredible, and it made me emotional. I really enjoyed it. It's a little $8 book. This one is also really cute. 3 years old.
Aww.
He's in this little crib, and it's adorable. If you've ever read any Klaus, I would definitely recommend this because it's a cute little glimpse into the month of December.
It's good. All right, so now I have Wonder Woman Dead Earth. This is issue number 1.
Is it going to be 3 as well?
I think so.
Okay, because I know most of them are 3 except for that Joker Harley Criminal Sanity, which is 15.
Oh, that's weird.
That's why I didn't get it.
So this is a book by Daniel Warren Johnson, who also did Murder Falcon and Extremity. Was that his other book?
I believe so. That sounds familiar.
Okay. So, if you have listened to us at any point in time, and or if you've ever talked to me about Murder Falcon, you'll know that book fucks me up. And I really, really love Daniel Warren Johnson for just ruining my feelings. And his art is great.
It really is.
And I know that it's not for everybody because it is a little, like, rough around the edges and can be, like, I think stilted more towards, I don't know, monsters and shit. But it's, if you like any sort of, like, gritty comics,
it's the colors, too.
It's the colors, too, yeah. Which is Mike Spicer in this book, particularly.
Did he do the colors for Murder Falcon, too?
I don't know, but that would make sense, right?
Yeah, I feel like it looked very similar.
But this book is basically, it's a post-apocalyptic book, which I am not a huge fan of normally. And I'm not normally a fan of Wonder Woman. This book is fucking sick as hell. And I cannot suggest it enough. I got close to the end and we were about to eat dinner and Chris was like trying to get me ready to like get food and I was like, I gotta finish this. Like, I just need to finish the last few pages. It's Wonder Woman punches a monster in the face. It made my day. Like, I can't really pinpoint to what I liked about this book the most, but it was so good. And I could not like suggest it enough. It's just, the way it looks is great. The monsters are awesome. Kind of the world building is really good. Like, this kind of throws you into it without you having any sort of familiarity with the characters, and you're just kind of learning about this world and how it got to this point.
So the characters, obviously, they're all established since...
Yeah, they're all, like, within this world.
Good. I like that kind of stuff.
But, like, you know, Wonder Woman's just waking up because they kind of stumble upon her. Mm-hmm. And then she goes with them, and you find out the depths of what Earth has become. It's real fucking good.
I'm excited to read it.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be that good. Right. I honestly was just, like, looking to have a good time, and I was kind of blown away. That's
how I felt about Harleen, to be honest. Like, how much I enjoyed it, because I was only attracted to the art.
Yeah.
And then I ended up really liking the story. So I love that Wonder Woman did that to you.
Yeah, and I really hope that he hurts my feelings again.
I'm sure he will. He's really good at that.
I mean, he's a man, right?
Yeah.
Okay, some jokes aside.
So, next we have Folklords, which we both read. This is issue number 2, and I love this book.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It reminds me of, like, when I was little, I did not have very many friends, and I used to pretend...
I relate to that so hard.
I had one friend that, like, lived down the street from me, and the area of Lincoln that I grew up in was called Air Park, and it was, like, when it was still kind of being developed, but it was where lower-class families lived. It was very gentle. Mm-hmm. There was no crime. Everyone left their doors unlocked, like that kind of little neighborhood. But we used to always go on adventures, which would literally be like 6 blocks to the library, so I could get like books.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Yeah, but we always turned it into like some sort of like quest that we were going on. I had a walking stick with me all the time, and that's what this book reminds me of. And I think that's why I like it so much, because it was before life hit me.
I mean, and that's kind of a really, like, truthful statement, because our main character is kind of, I wouldn't say duncy is not the right word, but he's kind of just, like...
naive.
Yeah, he's just, naive. Like, trying... He's just so focused on what his main goal is that he is willing to do real dumb stuff, and his traveling companion is just like, yo... You gotta be smarter than this.
Right. You have to plan before you do stuff. And he's just like, well, how was I supposed to plan? We're just kind of going for it.
And so if you didn't catch us last time, Folklords is about a young boy who kind of is in a fairy tale type world. And he is going on a quest to find the Folklords, who nobody really knows what they are because of a group called the Librarians, who kind of keep that part of their history closed and forbidden. And that's what they're off to do.
Yeah, the kid that he's traveling with actually took his quest, and I can't remember, did he get kicked out?
They tried to kill him?
Yeah, something weird, so that our main boy felt kind of obligated to go on this quest with him. So they're traveling together to find the Folklords, and they are... Of course, since it's a fantasy quest, they're running into all sorts of different characters, and it's just so cute.
It's so cute. The end of the book really got me.
Yeah.
I'm really stoked. I'm really stoked to find out what the Folklords are. And this is only a 6-issue series?
Yeah.
So...
I don't know why I looked on the back as if it ever says that.
It's a limited series regardless. So
yeah.
if you're looking for like a fun little book to pick up, this is definitely one to check the fuck out.
Yeah, it's super cute. I would definitely recommend it too.
Yeah, the art's good.
A lot.
Art's good. Story's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's Matt Kent and Matt Smith.
Not Doctor Who, as we found out last time.
Right. I honestly, when we got it, I was like, fuck, is this that guy?
It's your turn.
Okay, my turn.
Two.
I have Critical Role, Vox Machina, Origins 2, issue number 4. Grog has some sort of phylactery. Did I say that right? Phylactery. He has a problem, and in order to get rid of the phylactery, they need two different things. They need the heart of a nymph, and I can't remember what the other thing is. The skull of a nightmare. So the group gets split into two separate groups. One of them is going to find the heart of the nymph, and the other one is nymph. Sorry, I called it a nymph. And the other one is getting the skull of a nightmare. But this follows Team Nymphheart, which consists of the twins, Vex and Vax and Grog, and the bear, to find the heart of the nymph. I really love this issue. The art's super cute. But I mostly love Grog as a character because he sees this nymph, tells her that she's beautiful. She thinks he's really sweet, and so he gives it to her. Or she gives it to him. Oh,
I was like...
Yeah.
My brain did not go to the right place with that one.
Said that really weird. But basically, because Grog is such like a sweet person, it's easy for them to figure out what they need to do, whereas I think the other team is not going to have as much luck. So we'll see next issue about that. Next I have this little one shot called Cirrus Reckless. This book was fucking weird. It was like, I don't even know how else to like explain it, but it's pretty much a Cirrus, a witch, whatever, her lover / husband.
Hold on, can we go back one page?
Yes, you absolutely will.
Oh!
Yeah, it's really fucking weird. So she finds out that her husband or lover, whoever, was in the middle of like some sort of quest or like traveling, and he just kind of like randomly banged some other woman. And so she's like, no, this is not okay. That's not how that works. So she gets revenge on him and then pulls a long con on the woman that he slept with, who happens to be a princess.
What is
like
happening?
It is so weird.
What?
Like, I enjoyed it because there is actually a message within the story, which I thought was very interesting, which is pretty much don't betray those who love you.
Yeah.
But they really went about it a strange way. This is only a one-shot, the Reckless one. I know there's another Cirrus one-shot in a few months called, like, Wrath or something like that that's coming out, so I don't know. I didn't not like it, but I also didn't really like it, so I'm glad it was only a one-shot.
That looked wild just from the interior art.
Yeah.
Oh my god, watching that
like,
was like, what's happening?
It just throws you in, and it's like, you don't really know what's happening at first, and then like when it gets to the point where you see the Cirrus, and it's like, oh, this bitch is doing all of this. It's crazy.
All right. So, on a less wild note, I have Batman, issue number 85. This is Tom King's last issue of Batman.
We got a lot of last issues today.
Yeah, there's a lot of last issues. It felt weird since I have spent, like, the entire year trying to catch up to Tom King's Batman run, and I did.
And then
it ended. I don't really want to talk about it too much just because I want to give people time to read it and enjoy it themselves, but overall, I did really like it. It's hard to explain without going too in-depth, but it definitely did not end how I thought it would. I did think within the last issue, different things were going to happen, so I was pleasantly surprised, and I don't know. I think overall, for an 85 issue run, obviously there's issues that aren't as solid as others. That's just going to be the way it is. But I loved it. I really, really enjoyed myself. The only like slightly jarring part of this was the epilogue. And that's just because it's kind of trying to introduce you to James Tynion and what he's going to do with Batman. So it's kind of just like you finish all of what Tom King has been doing, and then you're thrown into this just, like, basically completely different world. So if you're going to read the epilogue, be prepared.
I just read it.
I think I'll stay on for James Tynion's run for, like, at least a little bit of time, see how I feel. I don't think I'll hate it. I think that it'll just take like a second to get used to, because I really like this iteration that like Tom King has done. I think he put a lot of hard work into it, and I think a lot of thought, and I liked it. It was worth my time.
Yeah, good. 85 issues.
85
you
issues.
Stuck through it that long. It better be worth your time.
I spent so much money.
Yeah.
All right. So next we have Middlewest.
This is issue 13. Our boy Abel is getting real sad.
Yeah. Well, you know, poor boy's been through a lot, and then now he is in a work camp.
Mm-hmm. Forced into it. I know I say this about every issue, but I really enjoyed this one because it kind of gives a glimpse into his home life, when his mom was still around, and then when his mom leaves. And I think it's really interesting to see, like, the difference in his dad from, you know, in the beginning of this issue, his mom is still there and they're still happy.
Yeah.
And then at the beginning of the series, when his mom isn't there and his dad is just a miserable pile of poo-poo.
And it also gives that insight to, like, who Abel was before, like, all of this stuff has, like, happened. Because you can see, like, how joyous he was, and then how that, like, you know, that switch just turns so easily.
Which it also says a lot about, you know, being in a house with parents who are not happy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And how that affects children.
Just like always, Middlewest is wonderful, but it does have just so much heaviness to what it's trying to tell you.
It's very realistic. But yeah, so Abel and what is her name? The girl that was at the you better fix yourself. Thank you. The girl who was at the carnival, who built the robot. I can never remember what her name is, but they're at this like farm together, forced to do work that, you know, is dangerous, could potentially kill them. And Jeb and Jeb's sister, who, God, I can never remember their names. I'm sorry. I read like 24 comics last night.
That is fair. And I also am like, I don't remember any of their
but
names.
Pretty much Maggie.
Yes.
Maggie, the fox, and Jeb, who were at the carnival, the fair, or whatever together. They are getting the townspeople together to save the children. And that's kind of the beginning of what I assume is going to be just a war.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look like it could be any other way.
No. And all the while, Abel is just losing hope.
And as well as his dad just being angry and looking for Abel. There's a lot of different pieces happening here.
Oh, yeah. Because his dad is, you know, still looking for him, and they mention at one point, like, a storm is coming, and then you see him, like, in the background. So I'm excited to see, like, what is going to happen when all of these, like, people come to a head.
It's interesting, like, okay, so this is only 13 issues in, and granted, like, this is, like, at least a year of reading.
Yeah.
If not longer, right?
Yeah, I think it's been a little longer.
Okay. I care a lot about these characters. It, like, really, this book really, like, drugged me in and has kept me, like, almost hostage isn't the right word, but the only word I can think of.
Yeah, because it's one of those where I'm like, I'm never necessarily excited to get to the next issue, but it's always one of the first ones that I read when I do get it, because I do care about these characters as well.
Yeah, and it's hard for me to tell people, like, it is probably one of my favorite books, low-key, but it's hard to be like, hey, you're gonna read this and not have the best time. But
it's really well done.
It's really great. You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this book just holds a very special place in my heart, and I never thought it would.
I think it's the relatability, to be honest.
Because
it's like, it's a very strange environment for a story to take place, but the characters are so real that it's easy to relate to each of them in some way.
Okay.
So next we have Farmhand. This is issue number 12. This book is still weird.
Yeah, this book is very strange.
Yeah, I, to be honest, like, don't even really know what's going on in this. All I know is crawdads are infected.
Crawdads are infected. So Jebediah's seed has just spread, and there's been outbreaks Yeah, it's good. That's how I wanted to phrase that.
Okay, good. Thank you.
There have been outbreaks in the past, but he's hidden it from people. And his son, Zeke, is going through a transition of growing a limb out of his body.
That's true.
And Jeb just has all these... Jeb, right? Or Jed? Jed.
Jedediah.
There's too many Jebs and Jeds.
Yeah.
Jed has all these secrets from how, like, the seed became a thing and what's happening now. And he's kind of the key to helping his kids unlock all of the information they need to not fuck everything up. But he's just unwilling to just let his secrets go because I don't think he wants to be the bad guy, even though he very clearly is.
Unintentionally. Like, it wasn't like he went in with good intentions and then
I suppose.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of a selfish guy.
No, he definitely is. But
so it's hard for me to believe that he went in with, like, true intentions.
Yeah, I guess I can see that. He's
kind of a dick. Yeah, I would say he's not a good guy.
No.
And that's, like, one of the things about that character. It's just, like, I kind of want to like him, but at the same time, I'm just like, you suck.
Yeah.
You really suck.
If he would just be honest about it.
Yeah, and I think that's, unfortunately, the thing my mom just, like, pounded into my brain is that, like, liars are the worst type of people. And so it's really hard for me to connect with people like that, because I'm just like, just own up, yeah?
Right.
Like,
because he's had multiple opportunities to do it and just hasn't.
Yeah, and if you fucked up, you fucked up. Like,
there's nothing wrong with admitting you did something wrong.
Yeah, you're an old-ass man. You're gonna die anyway.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go. So this is Black Stars Above. This is issue number 2. This book is still very strange. The main character, Eulalie, in the first issue, she was given a package to deliver through the woods. She wasn't supposed to look at it. She gets trapped in a snowstorm, opens the package, and finds, like, an alien baby in it. So this issue is her trying to find her way out of the woods. She keeps getting lost, and she doesn't know if she's, like, going in circles or if the woods are trying to, like, trick her. It's, the one thing that I do really like about this is her journal entries, which are the narration of the story. I really love the way that it's worded. It's set in the late 1800s. So, I mean, it's, some of the phrasing is weird. But overall, like, she's hungry, she's cold, she's lost, and then this alien baby is, like, causing her to do strange things. And she finds, like, look at that fucking thing.
Yeah, it's a weird alien baby.
Yeah. But she has this weird, like, maternal...
It's kind of cute, though.
Yeah,
like
it is.
Baby Yoda sort of gross Choodaloo thing.
And that's, like, the one thing that she says is, like, she has this weird maternal instinct where, like, the second that she took it out, she knew that, like, it needed her. And she realized that she needed it, too, because it knows the woods. So she begins treating it like a child, essentially.
Yeah.
It keeps her warm. It helps her find food. But she ends up running into another man who, like, lives out in the woods. And he's like, come with me. I'll help
like
you.
This.
Yeah. And that's kind of how it ends. And you have just a weird feeling that this guy is no good. So I still really like this, though. I don't know. I like the idea of the woods being alive, which is what is a constant thing in her journal entries, is she can feel it breathing, is what she keeps saying.
That's cool.
So yeah, I like that book a lot. And I'll just keep going.
Yeah, it's your turn again.
I have this issue, or this series, Wellington. It's the first issue. It's by the creators of that podcast, Lore.
Yeah, Alec was telling me about this.
Yeah, it's weird. It's very fast paced. It's about a guy who is trying to tell this writer about real things that have happened. And it's like, you know, monsters, like demons, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know if it's going to be a different story, like in each issue, or if it's like a continuous one. But in this, he gets, like, a letter from a woman that he knows who's like, hey, I need you to come here and investigate this. There's some weird occurrences that have been happening. So she gives him 3 occurrences that separately could be explained, but the fact that they happened all together was very strange. So, like, a kid goes missing. They keep seeing, like, a black dog with red eyes, like, around the area. And then a man is murdered under strange circumstances.
What's a black dog? Like, a black dog is, like, a meaning, like a...
Right. I don't know what the meaning is.
Like, it's always, like, a bad omen of some sort, but doesn't it have, like, an actual, like, name, or am I just making this up?
Spectre? It's a ghost.
Here, I'm gonna use the Google.
Look at
real
Google
fast.
It real quick. But yeah, so he starts to investigate these strange occurrences, because the man that they find murdered also has, like, weird markings all over his body. See?
Oh.
Yeah, so it's very strange, and that's just how it begins, is them investigating these...
It's a Grimm.
Oh, Grimm. Okay. Got it. But yeah, it's I think it's only going to be 4 issues, which is why I was like, hop on this. It could be fun. And it's not boring. I just, again, it was really fast paced, so I feel like I didn't really get, like, eased into it. They just threw me into the water, and I'm cold now.
Okay, so they threw you in too quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I don't know, it's hard, the pacing is just way too fast for me.
No,
I guess it's fine, but I feel like it got to point A, from point A to, like, point Z in, like, 2 seconds, and there was no letters in between.
All right. That makes sense. Okay, so I have the Lolo Woods. This is a first issue. It was a weird one.
Can I see that one too? I ask this every time.
Yeah, this is a Hill House book within the Hill House, like, horror comics. And I think, like, all of the first issues I've read of the Hill House books, for me personally, have been... I just am not sure about the books until, like, the second issue, like, with Basket Full of Heads. I love that second issue so much. But the idea behind this is that 2 girls go to a movie, but they don't remember anything that happened in the movie, and it's just very suspect to them. And as they're going home, they come across a creature in the woods. As the book continues, you find out there's been some weird things that have always happened in this town with women going off and forgetting things. And a fire starts with underneath because there's a bunch of coal mines, and so basically this town has been on fire for years.
Okay.
And it's definitely weird. I will definitely probably get the second issue. It's just hard to explain, like, how I felt about it, because I was just, like, intrigued, but also I need something to sell me hard.
I get that. I feel like, yeah, like you mentioned, like, a lot of the first issues for the Hill House comics, like, they don't really interest me.
Yeah.
Like, all the first ones that I've read have just been kind of like, okay, I guess. And it's always the second one where I'm just like, oh, this is actually a pretty good story.
Yeah, yeah, and it's... I don't know, first issues are definitely hard, you know. I've never written a comic book, so I can't say what it takes, but I feel like there are definitely some first issues that just, like, grab you off the bat, but these have not been it. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of unfortunate because I don't think they're bad books by any means. I just think that, like, that hook doesn't quite hit right.
Okay.
And then, which way do you want to do this? Okay, this way?
Yep. Okay, so we have this last issue of Invaders.
I'm kind of sad, but I think I talked to our friend Derek today, and he was just like, you know, I probably wouldn't want to keep reading a bunch of Invaders.
Yeah, and I thought they ended it very well.
Yeah.
I love the ending. I thought it, you know, everything got tied up the way I wanted it to, and it still had that, like, the way that it ended, there's hope that maybe there could be more at some point.
Yeah.
Like a different series or the same characters, who knows. But I really did enjoy that. And Namor, I love you.
Yeah, I I think Chip did great.
Yeah.
I didn't honestly think I would like this book to be 100% like straightforward. I was like, well, if nothing else, I'll enjoy it because of Chip. But then I like actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it too, and I thought the same thing. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna like this at all. This is a comic for old men.
Yeah, and it was just wonderful. Yeah, it was just so good. I think this last issue definitely talks a lot about like camaraderie and what it means to fight together and fight for a common goal, and
like no matter how much time has passed, you know, it's
like a friends forever sort of thing.
Yeah, it's there in a club.
It's basically Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, but superheroes.
That's a good way of putting it. I love that. Yeah, this is Invaders.
Quote me and put that on the back of the trade.
You hear that, Chip? Do it.
All right, so God, I thought we were so close.
All right, so
we can do this. We've got the last issue. Heather will not cry.
I will not. I got all my crying last night. I will post a picture of it on our Instagram so you can see I was sobbing. I did take pictures because I was sending them to people to prove that I have feelings.
So this is King Thor issue number 4. This is Jason Aaron's last Thor issue.
His last Thory.
That's good.
You like that?
Yeah, that was really good.
Thank you.
Dave would be proud.
Thanks. I live to make Dave proud. So this ends Thor's battle with Gore.
I think, just not to give any pieces away and not to make you very emotional, I think that like the thing to take out of this issue especially is just the writing is impeccable and it just tells the story of Thor, and I think if anything it kind of just tells how Jason Aaron felt about telling the story of Thor. Just here are all these stories and they've always existed, and there'll be countless Thor stories like before me and after me, and they'll all be good because they are Thor. Did I do that right?
You did. You did.
That was just my personal intake from very small things.
Yeah. And I agree with that 100%. It doesn't matter, who's writing it. The story will always go on.
Okay, and that's...
I can't talk about it because I'm, like, getting choked up. It was done very, very well. This is the wrong wording, but I could not be more pleased with this ending because I don't want it to end.
I get it.
I just think for Jason Aaron's exit, this was beautiful, and God, I just love him so much, and I love the way he writes Thor, and I love the way that he concluded his chapter of Thor. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I will do a slight input because I think that Jason Aaron's letter at the end of this was so good and so important, just as like all around seeing how he felt about Thor and what he put into that character without really being a big Thor fan beforehand.
Mm-hmm. Or even, he mentions that he doesn't even believe in God.
Yeah, and I think, and that was my favorite part about it, was knowing that he is an atheist, and he, like, his feelings, I feel the same, and that's what I enjoyed about his output and his, like, letter about, like, how he tried to build Thor and just, like, what Thor meant to him, and it's very relatable, and hands are clean of it now.
Yes. Start from the beginning of Jason Aaron's Thor run and read it all and cry with me, please. That's all. Okay, so moving on. Thank you. We have this book about death. This is Heartbeat, issue number 2 by Maria Lovett. I'm still thoroughly confused on this. I know that in the first issue, a girl she was murdered, but it came off as like she had committed suicide. So this is an investigation that's taking place, and the main character had seen what had happened, but she's not talking to the cops about it. So it just goes into something. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. But she's like drinking blood and shit, so I don't know. The art is just really, really good. I'll just show you that. It's like, I'm sure the story will come together and I'll finally understand, but it's about the translation from, was it Spanish?
Yes,
is that what? Yeah, from Spanish to English is not clear. So right now I'm sticking with it because the art is incredible. And I know the story is going to come together more clearly. So, do you want me to go again?
Yeah, because it is your turn.
Okay. So this is Money Shot number 3.
I'm going to go yell at my dog.
Okay. There's a lot of banging in this one. There's actually a lot of origin in this one as well. The group of scientists who are on this other planet banging all the aliens, it kind of goes into them losing all of the hang-ups that they had with each other originally before they had started this whole venture. So they are all sleeping with each other to kind of break down that wall. And it's weird, but, you know, by the end of it, they're all more comfortable with who they are sexually with each other as a group so that they can go across the universe and bang monsters and aliens. Yeah, that's pretty much what it goes into. 2 of the characters, which, you know, I'm horrible with names, the main scientist who came up with this idea, and then the boyfriend type guy that she has been seeing the entire time. They are banging the queen alien, essentially, and they discovered that she is actually very evil. But yeah, that's Money Shot number 3. It's just a lot of horny scientists.
My favorite type of scientist.
That's great. Also, I love this song.
If you want to know, we're listening to the history of electronic music. So, anyway, I have Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, issue number 6.
Look how cute that cover is.
He's so cute. Just the prank war with Batman, love and life. This is my favorite comic. Batman makes another appearance in this issue. It's so silly. It's so dumb. Every moment is a joy. I can't say more than that. Like, they're kind of delving more into Jimmy's assassination and trying to figure out who it is. And basically, at the end, Batman's just like, I can't even do this.
I love it.
But then he pranks Jimmy one last time.
I love that he's playing along.
And I think overall he might win the prank war. We'll see. Who knows? There might be more to it. He did ask Jimmy to leave Gotham, so who really knows?
That's harsh.
No, you know, it's Batman.
It's bitter.
He doesn't like poor people.
That's true. Batman's a dick.
So, ready?
Yeah. Okay, so we have Once and Future, issue number 5. The series is so good.
So, the last issue is the last issue?
Next issue is the last issue.
Okay.
Yes. Basically, Duncan finds out that he was originally supposed to be Galahad, right?
Yep.
But it doesn't quite work out that way. So instead, in the mythos of King Arthur and Camelot and Excalibur, he is Percival, who is supposed to work against Galahad to get the Holy Grail.
Yes. I'm going to go back one second just because, yeah, I absolutely had the worst time choosing the cover, and...
Because the main cover was really
the main
good
cover
too.
was really great. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, all of the like things about this book are just like all of the little pieces, because it's still a Kieran Gillen book. He's still gonna be himself, and still just gonna be like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna throw just like heavy lore into this funny book that I've been making. Yep,
I love this, and I especially love the fact that like. Galahad, he was raised knowing what his main goal was, whereas Duncan, who was originally supposed to be Galahad, has no idea of what he was supposed to become. So to see the difference between these two characters who were born for the exact same reason is very interesting to me. And I really love
No, this book is great. This book is so good, though, too. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just, there's so much lore. So much stuff.
I love it.
So
I love
good.
it so much. Yes.
Plus Dan Mora on the art and Tamara Bonvillain on the fucking colors. It's just like meant to be the perfect thing.
It is absolutely beautiful. I cannot wait to see how the story ends.
And I really, really hope they do another story arc at least, because I want more.
I don't know how they can just tie it up in 6 issues and then just be like, this is it, guys.
This is all you get.
Yeah, no, I will always be upset about it.
Hey, I comics have done me wrong one too many times, and now that's what I'm afraid of. But
I feel it. I have been waiting for the last issue of Sword Daughter for months, all because Brian Wood is a piece of shit. Okay, so this is one we both have. It's The Last God. We won't be going over it too much because Champ did not have a chance to read it. Again, we just have a lot of comics. But this goes into kind of the history of the Queen and how originally within the first group with Tyr and them fighting the last god, how they thought she was worthless, but she has an ability that none of them have, which is why she becomes queen, why they're able to keep her as a part of the group.
all right.
Yes.
I'm excited.
It's actually very cool, because when it happens, like, it was something that I was not expecting at all, based off of just how shitty she is as, like, a person.
Oh, yeah,
like, she's really
garbage.
mean. But once you kind of figure out, like, what it is that she's able to do and how she becomes, like, an asset to the group, it's awesome.
All right.
Yes. I have issue number 2 of V.C. Schwab, Shades of Magic, The Steel Prince, The Rebel Army. This is the last series, within this prequel. Basically, King Marish is trying to gather all the people of Varos. He's a prince here, sorry. They all hate him, so he's trying to get them to all fight together to defeat the Rebel Army, who is going to different towns and literally just killing people who won't bend the knee to them. So that's what that's about.
Some of Daenerys Stormberg.
Our Stormberg. Yeah, that's what it is.
All right, fuck me.
Not yet. We'll get to that next.
I have Batman Last Night on Earth. This is book number 3. It concludes the series. I didn't like it. It's fine. It's fine.
Let me see it.
It's fine. Everybody else can like the comic. I just overall, I suppose maybe because I've only read very small amounts of Snyder, like Batman, but I just like did not dig this book. Like, art was cool in parts. The story was just kind of like silly, I guess is the best word to use.
Not really what you wanted.
Yeah, not what I really wanted.
Is that supposed to be Wonder Woman?
Yeah. There's a lot going on in
this. It's an anarcho-punk Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I just... whatever. Some things aren't for me, and I just stick with them. This one I knew probably wasn't for me from the first issue, but I was like, 3 issues, I can do this.
Yeah, not a big deal at all.
But I made a mistake. It's not my thing.
You made a tiny mistake.
I made a tiny mistake. I bought 3 issues of Batman Last Night on Earth.
There are worse things you could have
there
done.
were. I could have been doing really bad drugs, I guess.
Yeah.
But there is a really silly Batman face. If I can find it, I would love to show it to you.
I love silly faces.
Because it's just... it's not that one, but it's like that one.
Okay, I thought for sure it was that one, and I was really excited.
It was kind of that one. Nope, I'll find it another time. Oh, no, it's that one. He looks like Garfield.
Did I do it?
Yeah, you did do it.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, next. We have Safe Sex. This is issue number 4. This is Avery's husband being tortured to try to clean him up.
Yeah, I like how he's just using his, like, love for BDSM to, like, be like, yeah, torture me. I don't like this. I like how the whole idea of consent is throughout this whole entire issue. Mm-hmm. Because it's the idea that, you know, you can be into these things, but it's because you consent to these things.
Oh, yeah. That was one thing that I really liked, too, because he actually does mention that at one point. Where
he does say it out, like, I don't consent to this.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you liked this kind of torture. Well, I do, but I'm not consenting, so it's different. It is, I really do.
There, like, I don't know, like, there was something about this issue that just, I really, really liked. And I don't know if it was just his, like, pull to try to get out of there, or...
I didn't consent to any of this.
Yeah, no, the art is completely different, and the story is completely different from Safe Sex issue 3 to Safe Sex 4.
Yeah, thank God.
It's night and day, honestly.
Yeah, no, I absolutely hated issue number 3 because of the art. And I know that there was a specific reason that they did it, and I thought it was just because it was like, oh, this is what happened during this period of time. Which makes sense, but it really put me off of it too. And I did not even want to, like, get into this, but I am glad that I did, because this issue is probably my favorite out of the entire series.
Yeah, I know this. And I think it just drives home exactly what this, like, series is trying to say without I guess it is heavy-handed, but not, like, it's not heavy-handed in the way where I feel like somebody's slapping me in the face and, like, I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
It's, like, heavy-handed in the way where I'm like, yes, I'm glad you're going here and saying these things.
Yes, I agree. It's good.
It's good.
I would say if you can get past issue 3 because of the art, issue 4 will be worth it for you.
Yeah,
in the
for
end.
sure.
Yes. Okay. Oh, God. I have issue number 3, Vampire State Building. They're still stuck in the building. That's it. That's really it. People on the outside have set up, like, napalm barriers to keep everyone in the building. They somehow filled the sprinklers with gasoline, and
Have they been bitten by vampires yet?
A majority of them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the reason they put the barrier around was so the vampires couldn't get out.
Yes.
But they filled the sprinkler system with gasoline, and they're gonna light it up.
I just meant the, like, core group that's in there. So now
most of them.
Okay.
Yeah, there's, I think, two people that are still alive right now.
So are those 2 people trying to get out before the building blows up?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes, and they are stuck in an elevator.
Of course. Why wouldn't they be
Classic.
stuck in an elevator?
Right. Well, because of course one of the guys is like, you know what, I went to school for electrical engineering, I know what we have to do. We cut this fucking wire, it'll drop about 10-15 feet before the emergency brakes go on, so that'll get us closer to the ground.
I still can't get over that they were, like, going to a party in the Empire State Building.
Why was there a party?
I don't know. You're the one who
No,
told
I
me.
know, I
You're
know.
the one who read the book.
I know, and I still don't understand it. But there is a conversation here between the girl whose dad worked there and her dad. Because he's like, what the fuck are you doing in the building? She's like, I stole your key. Bye.
Jesus.
It's really weird. But I do actually like the horror aspect of it. I think it's really cool. Because it's just like in some scenes, like they see their friends and they're like, oh, they're still alive. And then the next, where is it? I think it was, yeah, right here. They like see their friends and then their friends are just like, oh, fuck, they're vampires. And then they're trying to kill them. So if you put yourself in their shoes, it's pretty fun. Otherwise, I hate it.
Otherwise, I hate it.
Your turn.
We are almost done. Okay, so I have Family Tree. This is issue number 2. This explains a bit into what the fuck is happening.
A tree.
It kind of. So the first issue, you find out that there's some sort of disease that's turning this little girl into a tree. The family's kind of dysfunctional. This old man shows up and is like, get the fuck in my car.
What?
And the mom's like, this is your grandfather. He's the worst person in the world. That's how it went. In my mind, that's how it went.
I believe it. That's what most people think about their grandparents. Or grandpa, sorry.
If you think about, like, really dramatic shows or movies where, like, the woman is screaming about, like, that's how it, like... That's how it wrote, and that's how it read in my brain. Just, like, unnatural screaming for no reason.
Screeching.
Yeah, so you kind of find out more of the old man's backstory and how he is related to everybody and what he has been doing in the past. There's a lot going on. This is, like, very deep delving into, like, backstory and at least with this old man, and kind of, like, trying to let you, like, feel out what's gonna happen.
Classic Lemire.
Kinda, yeah. I really liked this issue a lot. Like, I was kind of hesitant after the first issue. I liked it, but was...
Right. That's how I felt about it, too, because I kind of glanced through it.
But I really did like the second issue a lot, and I think just because of the idea of, like, knowing more about what's what here. Mm-hmm. So, okay. Cool. That's my family tree story. The last books we have
are the X books. Keep bleeding all over everything.
I guess I'll just quickly talk about, I read X-Force issue number 4.
I bought it.
Heather bought it. It's really great. I don't want to ruin it for Heather at all. But just I'm not going to do it.
Okay, you're right.
I am going to say that it is very explosive. Shit happens, and you're kind of left a little flabbergasted. Kind of like the first issue, but I think... I don't know.
In a different way.
In a different way, and it's also... I can't believe this is my favorite book still. Every time I talk about it, I'm always just like, I won't like this issue as much. And as I'm reading the issue, I'm just like, this is so well written. Like, ridiculously well written.
That was, when I read that first issue, I was very shocked about how much I liked it as well, just because of the way that it's written. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I think the art fits really well with that, and, like, the colors, and there's a scene in this, like, newest X-Force issue where they're doing a quiet council meeting, and just the voices and the way it looks are just so well done. It pulls you in so well. It really just is reminiscent of, like, the House and Powers, like, when you're watching the, like, quiet council talk and, like, making those decisions. It's just, it's juicy. I love it.
Good.
Do you want to talk about one of ours?
Yeah, I'll talk about Excalibur just because I really love Gambit in this issue.
All right.
I'm sorry, because there's one part that's very relatable to me. Captain Britain, is that her name?
Yep.
Is having a meeting with the Queen, and Gambit is kind of walking up to the building where they're having it. There's a bunch of protesters outside, and someone throws a fucking bottle at him, so he just, like, loses his mind and starts, like, attacking people. And when they're like, what are you doing? He's like, they threw a bottle at me. I probably would have done the same thing. Yeah. I just thought that was really funny. But yeah, they're still going on their quest to try to fucking wake Rogue up and get the original Captain Britain back. Richter and Gambit are on their own special mission to recover some rocks.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah. Without giving away, like, any of the other, like, little details that happen, that's what the main goal of this issue is. Yes.
How's this rank on your X-Book list?
I still really enjoy this, because this one is pretty, like, with Camelot and, like, the Morrigan and stuff, like, with the lore. I really enjoy books that have a lot of history in it like that, which is why I like Once and Future.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious to see how all that, like, affects Rogue and what Apocalypse wants to do with it.
Yeah, no, Apocalypse is, like, the puzzle piece that doesn't quite fit here.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see, like, where he does fit within the entire story, because he's always just kind of there. He obviously knows more than everyone else, but he's not saying anything. And he brought Richter into it for a reason.
I mean, yeah, because I think he knew that...
Yes.
So I will quickly be like, I read New Mutants about halfway through. This just continues. So the way it looks on New Mutants, it's written by Ed Brisson and Jonathan Hickman, and they're sharing 3 issues each. So the first 3 issues were Jonathan Hickman. The next 3 issues are Ed Brisson.
Okay.
So this just continues the story of Armor trying to get Beak, and, like, how they've been attacked by this fringe group of people who are looking for a cure for a disease. And that's all I've read so far.
It's a good song, too. And then for our last X book, we have Marauders, issue number 4. Miss Kitty Pryde is trying to recruit Bishop to the Red Group.
The Red Group. Could you be on the red team, please?
I mean, I'm not wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
Well, you know, of course, they're still going around other places to help mutants who are not able to get to Krakoa get to Krakoa.
Yeah. How's this rank on your X-Book list?
I really enjoy this too, and I think I'm still going to be upset that like Nightcrawler's and a part of the Marauders, but I like the group.
Yeah.
I like them a lot. I think, I don't know, how vastly different all of their personalities are really work together.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I fucking love Kitty Pryde. I didn't even realize how much I love Kitty Pryde until, like, reading this. Like, I've always been like, yeah, Kitty Pryde's cool, but...
I don't think that, like... I don't... No offense to any other writers by any means, but I don't think any other writers have done this good of a job writing Kitty Pryde.
Right. Which makes sense, I mean, especially because she is the main focus of this series. Mm-hmm. Like, she is the main character. And I know she's been, like, in the forefront a lot of the time, but I don't think, you know, any series particularly have been about her.
Yeah.
Which I think is very nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
So this concludes Wednesday.
Yeah, sorry.
If you've hung out this whole time, thank you. We're also sorry. We'll be back Friday afternoonish.
Mm-hmm. Talk about a few more books.
Yeah, we only have, I think I have six more books.
And I've got floor.
So it'll be quick, probably about 20 minutes at best. So tune in. Thanks for checking us out today. We hope you didn't spend all your money at the comic book store today.
Like we did.
But we love you. Thank you.
Yes. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Have a good night.
Have a happy holiday.